Right, good evening. Welcome, everybody. First instalment for a while on the mixed martial arts front. Well, saying that, we're there for the PFL last Friday, weren't we, actually? But UFC 310 this Saturday night, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, last pay-per-view of the year, 2024. Headlined by Alexandra Pantoja against the newcomer Kai Asakura. But we're looking at the co-main event here, boys. 5 rounds, welterweight division. Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's meant to be facing the champion Bilal Muhammad, who fell off injured, as we just discussed. Ian Machado Garry steps in, the Irishman heavy underdog, 7-ranked Garry against number 3-ranked Shavkat Rakhmonov. It's a decent fight, to be fair, on paper. You know, both guys, I believe, are undefeated. Well, they are undefeated, definitely. I think Shavkat's finished every single one of his opponents, which is a crazy good record. Garry, in recent times, split decision over MVP, split decision over Jeff Neal, the same man that Shavkat finished.
Losing that fight.
Yeah. Look, they were both very close fights. I mean, look, all the angles seem to lead towards a Shavkat victory here. But yeah, how do you both assess things?
I mean, for me, I'm going to pick Garry to win because I go against the grain, I always do, but I don't believe he's got a cat in hell's chance. I just think Shavkat's a generational talent. I think everything that I've seen in him has all been pluses, where there's holes in Garry's game. He's easy to take down. He's not that difficult to keep down. He's fantastic at striking, but Shavkat is a kickboxer
He's a point scorer, though, isn't he?
Yeah, and Shavkat hits with intent, a little bit harder, does a little bit more damage. I believe Shavkat's better, more all-round, more well-rounded than Garry. Garry's pretty one-dimensional. I also don't like Garry's shtick. I think he's a bit of a prick, and then he plays the victim, and then he's a prick, and then he plays the victim, and then he's a prick. Can't make his mind up. For me, I'm not a massive fan. I was initially, but I think he's took the shtick a little bit too far. I think he's doing what he needs to do to, making a lot of money, and he's well paid, and his brand has taken off. But he's never going to be the second coming of Conor McGregor, which he thinks he is, and says
he does, doesn't he?
Impossible. Good luck to him, and I'm going to pick him to win this fight only because he's a massive underdog. But I don't believe for 1 minute he will. I think Shavkat will make it look fairly easy. To be fair, he's a lot better than Jeff Neal. He's a lot better than MVP. They've sparred together, but sparring does not map out a fight. You can't read too much into sparring. You're there to learn. You're there to practice. If he's taking confidence from maybe knocking him down or beating him up in sparring, then he'll come unstuck fairly quick.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, I'm 100% in your boat. I would absolutely love Ian Garry to pull it off. But if we're really honest, his praise for taking this fight and jumping in and insisting that it remained a 5-rounder on Shavkat's part, that could actually be to his detriment. A 5-round fight for Ian Garry against someone like Shavkat, it's that 4th and 5th round that could be his undoing. Yeah, look, I get why he's doing it, because he's trying to show that if he comes through Shavkat, whatever Dana decides to do next with this belt, he should be in the frame for it. So he's saying, give me the 5 rounds, but 15 minutes, you can probably work your way through and come out with some credit losing on points. Giving a fighter of Shavkat's quality the extra 10 minutes, that's where the danger is for me in this fight. I think for 3 rounds, it will be fairly competitive. Then once we get into that championship round, Shavkat will start moving through his repertoire.
Well, Ian Garry could stay away from him 3 rounds. He could stay away from him from a couple of rounds and drop a round.
Yeah.
You drop a round in a 5-round fight, you lose momentum. You lose the next round and the next. Do you get what I mean? It's easier to win to win a 3-round fight. I'm not dismissing it as easy. I can't do it and couldn't do it. But from what I see, it's a lot easier. People like Wonderboy. I don't think Wonderboy's ever lost a 3-round fight unless he's been stopped. I don't believe he has. I think he's won pretty much 99%.
Just lost to Buckley a few weeks ago, but he hasn't lost many. You're right.
But there's not many he's lost. He's on the back 9 now. He's 40 odd. But back in the day, he could get a lead and then he could afford to drop a round or have a round off. 5 rounds, you can't do that. And I think it's like Liam says, it could be to his detriment.
It's momentum, and look, dare to be great. Don't Ian Garry didn't want to sit out till next year. He didn't know what he's going to end up doing. He didn't want to take a fight against a lesser name. He sees this as his quickest path to the gold, to Muhammad, if he can come through this fight for a vacant title. If Bilal was going to be Bilal Muhammad is the champion.
Sorry, I forgot the name.
You done me then, mate.
Yay!
The signal's going. Come on. But the truth is, regardless of what happens here, Ian Garry's seeing a path to the future. But Shavkat Rakhmonov is the best.
Jeez, here we go.
He doesn't even realise he's done it.
The future.
He's clueless.
The future, Ian Garry.
The future.
Fuck's sake.
The
best 170 fighter is Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he beats all of them. I'm just going to keep going while you two fuck around. He beats all of them regardless. And on Saturday night, I think it will be an uncomfortable night for Ian Garry. And Shavkat, as the fight wears on, will probably get a stoppage. Ian Garry's gas tank is probably going to play as big a factor as his skill set in this fight. He's not done 25 minutes before in the UFC. I'm not sure if he's done it in other organizations before. It's one thing doing it in sparring, it's another thing doing it in the octagon for 25 minutes. I think his gas tank, as well as his lesser skill sets with fighter as Shavkat, is what's going to play a factor in this fight.
It's all right doing 25 going forward. It's a lot harder going back when you've got Shavkat in front of you. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Ian Garry is a momentum fighter, a front foot fighter. He likes to find his range, do his kicks, his flashy bits. Shavkat's not going to give him the opportunity to do that, and I believe that it could potentially drown. And as Liam says, I would not be surprised to see a stoppage, maybe rounds 3 to 5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing. I can't not agree with both of you there. I think Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to have too much. I don't think Gary's the most powerful striker, even though he's a great striker, and that's his best, chance of a win is outpointing Rakhmonov. I don't think he can keep him off him for 5 rounds. I don't think it'll be early. I think you're going to get a rear naked choke round 4 for Shavkat Rakhmonov, and he's going to go on to dethrone Bilal Muhammad in the first quarter of next year. I think this guy is as legit as they come. What is he? Something like 18.
He's an absolute animal.
Yeah.
He's
18 finishes or something stupid like that.
Yeah, something stupid.
Listen, he's going to ride in on a horse. He's going to finish the fight, and then he's going to eat the fucking horse.
He's
playing home. The guy's an absolute savage, mate. He eats raw horse meat, for God's sake.
Yeah, I saw his interview this week saying that. Yeah, so 3 Shavkat wins picked over here. Let us know in the comments what you think. UFC 310. Probably be doing a watch along for this fight as well if it starts after the boxing, which I'd imagine it will, because the main card's not until 3 a.m. So we'll be in and around things at that point. Jay, Liam, thanks very much as always for joining me. Everybody.